Hey guys, Brandon here from GameTrailers. I'm here with Jamie, the creative director of Guitar Hero Live, which I just found out about a couple seconds ago and is very exciting. Lots of fun stuff happening this year in the music industry. So give us the quick sell on Guitar Hero Live so we can open up this conversation.
So Guitar Hero Live, quick sell, that's gonna be a tough one, right? You just saw it.
Gotta get better at it.
Yeah, okay, quick sell, Guitar Hero Live. This is just about making you feel like a rock star. You know, we've come back, we've changed the gameplay, we've changed the way it looks, we've turned the camera around, we're putting you on stage, and we're giving you a really cool place to go and discover music.
Well, so the first thing that knocked me out was I don't think I'm going to be very good at this game right out of the bat because the guitar's totally different. So you've added another button. You've kind of split your brain into two different parts now. You mentioned earlier in the demonstration that your pinky would always get into trouble when you're playing the old games. Now, like, all my fingers are going to get into trouble. So how do you feel about players going into this game that love the franchise that are like, I love this series, now I'm terrible at it because these buttons are all over the place?
I mean, I think that's a good one. The way we came at this, right, we were like, we know how people play it, and we wanted to just take it a step further. We wanted to give you new gameplay. That was like number one. We couldn't just come back with the same gameplay. We had to change it. But at the same time, we wanted to give you something that was like easy to learn, but then difficult to master. So I think you're probably being hard on yourself. Like, you actually got quite good at it at the end, even though you played it on an easy level. But you know, the thing is, it's about, we're still strumming away. That's the same thing. And your fingers are still moving around. But we're just giving you new stuff to do. And what we've found is it's muscle memory kicks in real quick. But people love it because it's a new challenge.
So the live aspect seems to be present in lots of different things. From the beginning of the project, did you land on the name Guitar Hero Live and then decide to implement that in as many sections of the game as you could? Or did you notice that you were kind of moving in that direction and then one day it was light bulb, Guitar Hero Live, that's the game we're making?
It was a kind of combination of things. Like, Guitar Hero Live was definitely something we thought of from the beginning, because as soon as we decided to turn the camera around and kind of put you on stage, and then we decided to film real people, it kind of live just made sense, right? But we did have a little code word internally for a bit because we wanted to give you stage fright. So our kind of little working title was stage fright for a little while, which was quite cool because it's like a movie and movies have those things. So that was fun. But live just made a lot of sense, right? You know, we freestyle, we really love music. We love it in so many different ways. And live to us is the best way to experience it. So that's kind of how it ended up.
Well, speaking of code names, you've done a really good job keeping this under wraps. You know, there's been lots of rumors about the music genre making a comeback, and this is definitely like the year we're seeing. Both of the big franchises coming back. I'm curious how you pulled off these concerts. So, were these events planned just for Guitar Hero Live, or was already a musical festival that you just kind of like snuck in before the big band showed up and shot your bit, or like how did that work?
Well, the fact we've convinced you that happened makes me really happy.
There's a lot of people on camera.
Yeah, I know. We brought 100,000 people into a field and we just filmed them all, and that was really easy. No, I mean, we made this like a movie. Like, there's so much movie tech went into this, and in those things, there's only maybe 300-400 real people, but we used techniques, and we came up with techniques where we turned those 300-400 people into like 4,000 or 5,000 people, yeah, we worked with some pretty cool people to get that done. But I'm chuffed you thought it was real. That's amazing.
Well, it's interesting that acting is now a part, of a Guitar Hero game. You used to just kind of put your characters up there, and it was really about their personality. It was about like what costumes am I putting on them, and what, I have Satan's in the game, the Grim Reaper, and all these like crazy characters are showing up. And now it's much more real. It's really interesting to like see that look of sadness in a fan's eyes, or what really shook me in like your drummer's eyes or your lead singer's eyes. It's just like, come on, man, you got to pick it up. So was that something you were really excited about when you started to see that? Was that tough to kind of did you do a one take and the performances were terrible and you had to go back and you're like, no, we really got to capture that raw moment of being terrible on stage?
Yeah, I mean, go back to top of the question. We wanted to put you on stage, right? That was taken away from the old one where you're dressing people up. We wanted it to be you, so we just wanted you to believe you were there. That was the number one thing. Then, like, getting the reactions for everyone, that was really fun because like when it's going well, that was quite easy, right? Because all the guys all the band members are actual in bands. They're all musicians. They all play music. So that was like, just go play and look cool, and they were very good at that. And then to try and say, right, imagine the camera's really messing up now, and your career's going down the pan. And surprisingly, actually, their looks, when you saw their careers going down the pan, they kind of nailed it quite quickly. But with the crowd, it was a totally different experience because we brought a ton of extras in. So we had several hundred extras in on a day, and we were trying to think, how can we like, again, the positive side was easy because the way we built the sets, the way the audio was playing, we were just like, just have fun, just go crazy, but just look at this camera and pretend it's a person and you love them and they're the best Guitar Hero player in the world. So that was easy. It was the negative bit that was difficult because we're like, okay, they're going to start to screw it up, and we want you to kind of react. And the first few times we did it, it was kind of, they were like looking around, they were confused, and we were like, well, actually, that's a good look. So like for the first one, look confused, like, because you don't really know what's going on. But one of the tricks we used to say to them, I'd get up on stage and I'd grab the microphone and say, look, has anyone ever broken up in a relationship? And everyone would go, yeah. I'd say, right, there's 3 stages to going through a breakup, right? The first one is denial. So for this first part of the song, when it's going wrong, you're in denial. So they're all kind of confused and they're like, come on, man, you can get this back. And then the second one would be kind of crying and getting upset. So then like the third part of the song, so I'd say something, they'd all be like getting upset and kind of, no. And then the third part was anger. It's like you paid a lot of money to come to this gig. So, and it's all going down the pants. So then they'd be like, whoa. And it just, one of the things, it worked really well. It was a lot of fun.
I like that the signs changed in the environment. So you imagine like the guy prepping to go to the concert and he's like, well, I should bring my "you suck" sign just in case. Yeah. You never know. And it makes me wonder, are you someone, I imagine, who goes to lots of concerts, who loves seeing live music? Have you ever been to a show where one member of the band just completely loses it?
It's funny, I have actually. It was a really small festival last year. It was like a motorcycle festival, and this band came on, Turbo Wolf, and they were amazing, right? And then this band followed them, and it was one of those really awkward moments where this room's full of hairy bikers and tattooed dudes, and it just was the totally wrong music, and everyone just slowly left, and there was like 5 people stood there, and I was one of them because I was like, this is amazing, this is great research. So yeah, I've seen it happen.
Well, you brought up a good point, actually, which is there are lots of people who'd appreciate this game. There's lots of people who love to go see live music that do like rock and roll that might not like particular genres. So moving the conversation over to Guitar Hero TV, which you touched on a little bit today. We'll learn some more eventually about it. But was there limits you felt with the genres you wanted to explore there? Does the catalog in Guitar Hero TV really mirror that of Guitar Hero Live, or is it kind of its own beast?
I mean, the way we've approached the soundtrack to the entire game is we've wanted to be broad. So there's going to be some really cool surprises in Guitar Hero Live, which were just loads of fun to do, and it was really different. But then Guitar Hero TV for us, it's going to, like I say, we're going to talk more about it a bit later, but it's really broad. We want to give everyone something to play, basically. And the thing about Guitar Hero is, at its core, it's a rhythm action game. So, you can take some liberties with some tracks. It might not have guitar all the way through it, but it's still got music all the way through it, and you can make some really fun gameplay with that. So, I think when you see GHTV and you see the breadth of it, you're going to be really impressed.
Any classics coming back from previous Guitar Hero games? Because every time I hear "Carry On Wayward Son," it's just the highway. It's immediately what I go to.
Yeah. That's one of the ones, the soundtrack we've got to tell you about later. But, the great thing about Guitar Hero is Guitar Hero Live, we changed the gameplay. So everything you've played before, you're going to play it differently now. So, if we do bring stuff back, it's going to be loads of fun because you're going to be learning to play it differently.
So is there anybody that's working on this new Guitar Hero that had previously worked on any Guitar Heroes in the games in the past? Is there anything different about this game than other games that you've worked on?
God, that's a good question. I mean, yeah, we had a bunch of people at our studio do a DLC for Guitar Hero in the past, and those guys are still with us and still working on that. Is there anything different? Well, we made DJ Hero, so the peripheral's completely different, but at its core, it's still a music rhythm game, right? And that's what we do. That's what we love, and that's what we've put into this. We put our same heart, soul, and passion that we did into DJ Hero into Guitar Hero Live.
And you mentioned there's a lot more stuff that we got to check out. And it seems like this is a game where, there really is a lot more stuff, a lot more information that you can possibly get into, like you mentioned, the catalog and all sorts of other stuff. Anything you want to leave us on to whet people's appetites for what's coming at E3? I
mean, just, we're so excited to finally share this with you. It's kind of like you said earlier, it's, we've kept it sort of under wraps pretty well. And it's been a long road. It's been kind of this long. And it's such a fun game to play. We can't wait for you to get it in your hands. And yeah, we're super stoked.
Well, I got it in my hands, and I thought I did okay, but that's definitely gonna wreck my brain. It's literally like the two sides of your brain going from the white side to the black side, but it works, and I want to spend a lot more time with it. So thank you so much for letting me play it today. Good luck.